This is the story of Bridget Shiel, aged 19, who was shot 7 times by someone who most likely was her client. Bridget was a model and also part-time makes money as an escort. Bridget, who came from a well-to-do family, decided to go that bad route so she could make fast money, but unfortunately, she ended up being killed by someone the police could not identify until a bottle of SPRITE broke open the case. It finally led to who killed Bridget after 2 long years of suspense.
No one should ever be able to feel this tired. I'm so tired.
Hello and welcome to Twisted Crimes. Subscribe and hit the like button for more stories.
Look at my beautiful sister, guys. She's so pretty.
This case would be taking us to Atlanta, Georgia, also known as the city in a forest. Atlanta is the capital city of Georgia. It is the largest city in the state. The Atlanta metro has the 5th largest popular area in the U.S. with 5.9 million residents. With a crime rate of 48 per 1,000 residents, Atlanta has one of the highest crime rates in America compared to all communities of all sizes, from the smallest towns to the very largest cities. One's chance of becoming a victim of either violent or property crime here is 1 in 21. Bridget Shiel was born in February 1997. She grew up in Washington, D.C. with a military family and was raised by her grandparents. She was loved by her family and taken care of as much as they could. She grew up loving to play soccer and also danced ballet. Bridget Shiel was a hairstylist and music video model. She decided to take it to another level, so she moved to Atlanta where she could get more clients and also have more modeling gigs. Unfortunately, when Bridget got to Atlanta, she rolled with some bad people and she started doing some bad things. She did different type of things with her new friends. One of the things she did was that she joined an escort site where she met and serviced her client who were in need of servicing. While she was doing this, she was still trying to make a name for herself in the modeling world. By early 2016 she signed with an agency and even booked a spot in a music video. She was really excited by all this progress. She dated a young man named Kevin Kinney. The issue was that she dated him even though she knew he already had a girlfriend and baby. She got into a fight with his girlfriend and she was locked in jail along with the girlfriend on Valentine's Day in 2016. Kevin would later throw her out of his apartment on the order of his main girlfriend. Just a few months later after that incident, on May 30th, Bridget made a late-night call to a friend around 11 p.m. According to that friend, Bridget sounded normal and wasn't in any distress, nor did she sound upset. Between 11:23 and midnight, someone said they saw her sitting in her car at a Shell gas station. There were 2 unidentified men sitting in the car with her. Sometimes later they drove away, and what happened after that till today remains a mystery. 20 miles away from that gas station in Atlanta's Oakland City neighborhood, a resident heard what he believed to be gunshots at 1:06 a.m. Just a few hours later, someone came across a nude, bullet-riddled body in a nearby park. When police got to the location, they saw that Bridget was shot in the back, and judging by the scene, the young woman was running away from her killer when she was gunned down. She was laying down there dead, all naked. She had multiple gunshot wounds to her back, buttocks and legs. As if Bridget's death couldn't get any worse, investigators said that the bullets that were used were radically invasive projectiles that expand inside of their target. Some distance away from the vehicle, near a fence, police find a dress. They also locate and collect a SPRITE bottle. Soon after Bridget's body was found, her car was found miles away, badly hidden behind a cell phone tower near a Stone Mountain restaurant. Someone was trying to hide it. Since her death, Bridget's family and friends grieved as Atlanta homicide detectives have looked at everyone and every possible scenario to figure out a murderer and a motive. Police searched both scenes for as many hints as they could find about the murder, but the case moved slowly. They even offered a $10,000 prize for information that led to an arrest, but the case still hadn't been solved a year after the crime.
Investigators are back out in a southwest Atlanta park where they found a teenager naked and shot to death 1 year ago today. They want to solve this case. Channel 2's Taisha Fernandez is live at Oakland City Park now, and Taisha, the victim's mother, was also there.
Wendy, she was here along with other family members and friends, and we saw them create this memorial here by a tree before they started canvassing the area with police looking for clues. Police said they have taken this case personally, and they have been trying to solve this for the last 12 months. Take a look at what they were doing today. Police are calling this a homicide tactical canvass. Several investigators searched for clues in the area where they found Bridget Shiel a year ago. They're also talking to people in the community, hoping they can shed some light on what happened. Now take a look at a photo of Bridget Shiel. She was 19 years old when police found her shot to death in the Oakland City Park in southwest Atlanta. Police believe she knew her killer, who they say shot her in the back 7 times and then dumped her body in the park. Police said she didn't have any clothes on at the time. 1 year later, her mother was back out at the park, but it's Shiel's grandmother who spoke today.
I miss Bridget every day. I think of her a zillion times a day. And I would love to know that justice was done, whatever justice we can get.
Her family members were really devastated about the whole incident.
Part of me is missing.
There is no consoling Angela Shiel.
And I feel worried, sick, that she may have suffered. I don't know if she was tortured. I don't know what happened.
The unknown is why this mother cannot stop sobbing.
And I worry that she knew for hours that she might die.
That fear came when homicide detectives came to her door yesterday to inform her that her daughter Bridget was shot and killed, then dumped at the city park.
I miss her.
Adding to this mother's pain is a sense of guilt that she feels. She tells us she and her daughter were not on the best of terms at the time of her death.
I feel so guilty. The shuttle would have cut us. Did she hurt? Did they beat her up? You know, how long did she know that she was gonna die? That kills me.
Police were lucky to get DNA sample from a bottle of SPRITE, but unfortunately for them, when they entered it into the system, there was no match. 5 months after Bridget was killed, on October 24, 2016, Sylvia Watson is returning home to the apartment she shares with her fiancé, 54-year-old Samuel White, on Tree Mountain Parkway in Stone Mountain, when they are approached by Spencer and another man, Vernon Beeman. The men, both members of the Rollin 20 Street Gang, order Watson to drive to multiple ATMs and withdraw money. Once returning to Watson's apartment, Spencer and Beeman forced the couple to the floor face down, bound their hands and feet with ropes and cord and shot them once each in the back of the head. On November 2, 2016, Christopher Spencer is arrested and charged in the execution-style murder of the Stone Mountain couple. The two were arrested and convicted, and Spencer's DNA was entered into a state-maintained database. That DNA later produced a match with DNA found on Bridget, and also with DNA on the soda bottle. Authorities say Spencer is among several men facing charges for the 2016 fatal shooting in Clayton County that killed an 11 and 15-year-old who may have been mistakenly hit in a gang-related attack. Christopher Spencer, 28, is charged with murder in her death. Spencer was already in prison when he was arrested.
2 years to the day after she was found naked and shot to death in a park, police have filed charges in the murder of 19-year-old Bridget Shiel.
Atlanta police say Christopher Spencer shot Shiel multiple times and left in Oakland City Park. Officers say DNA helped link him to the murder. Fox 5's Morris Diggs was there when the family reacted to the news of the arrest. He joins us now live. Morris, Spencer is already in jail serving time for another crime.
It was, in fact, a double murder, and upon entering the state system, a DNA sample was required. Now, what the Atlanta authorities did was they took some collected DNA from their murder scene, ran it through a database, and got the match on Spencer.
He was already serving life without parole in the state prison system.
Christopher Spencer is a convicted murderer from a DeKalb double homicide. According to Atlanta authorities, he's also the link to an Atlanta murder mystery, the killing of 19-year-old model Bridget Shiel.
The absolute key clue would be the DNA evidence, yes.
Shiel, back in May of 2016, was last seen alive at a convenience store. She was in her car with two men.
We also have a witness from that location who told us that Bridget looked extremely nervous in the car.
An hour or so later, shots rang out in an Atlanta park. That is where Shiel was gunned down, although responding officers that night did not find anything. The next day, the model's abandoned car was found on Redan Road in DeKalb County.
There was some forensic evidence that was recovered from Mrs. Shiel by the medical examiner's office that was submitted for DNA testing. That evidence would later, more than a year later, come back and identify a suspect for us named Christopher Spencer.
Why was she killed?
We don't know the answer to that.
The mother and grandmother praised the investigators, but the news of the murder charge stopped short of providing them closure.
Atlanta police gave a quick update at a press briefing on the case.
Capital C-O-N-N-O-R. I'm the Major Crimes Commander for the Atlanta Police Department. And I'm here to give a brief statement on the arrest warrants that we've issued in the Bridget Shiel homicide. So as many of you know, on May 30th, 2016, Bridget Shiel left her residence to go out to get something from the store. And she intended to come back and then go out that night with a friend of hers. That would never happen. She would later be seen at a gas station about an hour and a half later, somewhere in DeKalb County near Rockbridge and Memorial Drive. We are able to capture her vehicle on video in that parking lot, and we were able to capture a female that went in that apparently purchased a SPRITE for the occupants of that vehicle, brings the SPRITE back out to the car. We also have a witness from that location who told us that Bridget looked extremely nervous in the car. She wouldn't come forward or put two and two together until the following day after news broke that Ms. Shiel was later found deceased in Oakland Park. So what happens after that is they leave that area and they basically drive around for a while, and we see them again the following day just after midnight in Oakland Park. On a surveillance camera you can see Bridget's car go into the park, but the camera doesn't cover the entire event. So shortly after that car is seen, a 911 call goes up for shots being fired in the park. A unit responds out there, kind of looks around, but it's nighttime. They don't see anything amiss. There's nothing unusual to see. They clear the park. It's the following morning when Bridget Shiel is located in the park, deceased from gunshot wounds. So that would begin the investigation from that point. The following day, the day after that happens, Bridget's car is located in the 4900 block of Redan Road. We, of course, process the vehicle. We process the area around that for any evidence. And when we did that, we found a dress that was some distance away from the vehicle near a fence. And a SPRITE bottle is on the other side of the fence, which was noted by the investigators and collected as well and would become important later. So they collect that SPRITE bottle at that time. And as the investigation goes on, they're able to put two and two together about how all of this transpires. And essentially what occurs is there was some forensic evidence that was recovered from Mrs. Shiel by the medical examiner's office that was submitted for DNA testing. That evidence would later, more than a year later, come back and identify a suspect for us named Christopher Spencer. Christopher Spencer was identified because he had been charged and convicted of a double homicide in DeKalb County and had entered the Department of Corrections at the Macon State Prison. When you do that, you have to provide a DNA sample to the state, and when that sample hit the CODIS database, it came back to us that was consistent with what was found in Mrs. Shiel. And then it was also consistent with some DNA that was recovered from the SPRITE bottle that had been purchased at the convenience store the last time that we knew her to be seen on camera as being alive or by a witness as being alive. So all of that would match together. We've reached the point now where we were able to secure an arrest warrant for murder for Christopher Spencer, which occurred yesterday. So he's now been charged in this homicide.
He's serving a life without parole sentence in Macon State Prison for the murder of the DeKalb County couple home invasion.
As I pointed out, Spencer was already on the hook for 4 other murders in 2016. October 22nd, 2016, he's accused of gunning down 2 teenagers on Libby Lane. 2 days later, a couple is victimized in Stone Mountain during a home invasion robbery. Now, is he considered a serial killer? Well, according to the FBI, he does not fit the profile. However, we did speak with a former gang member who is now trying to turn the lives around of some youth. And he says Spencer was probably nothing more than a loose cannon with a gun.
It's not known why Bridget was killed. Spencer has not confessed to the murder and denied ever seeing Bridget. Bridget's grandmother, Beverly Toole, said she was overwhelmed with feelings at the news of the arrest.
I'd just like to say that we miss her more every day.
Does this help with closure at all?
I don't know that it will help at all.
Our sincere condolences to the friends and family of Bridget Shiel. May she continue to rest in peace. Please stay safe out there and see you guys in the next video.